Do you know, before I started recording this, I just had a hoodie on, and then I thought, oh yeah, I've got my Christmas jumper. Oh yeah, I've got a hat as well. And now I just look like I'm making a right tit of myself. But you know what? It's the end of the year. We're going to talk about some of my favourite albums of 2022. And, you know, if there's any time for fun, it's right now. So before I do get started talking about my favourite albums of this year, I do want to say that a few of these albums, if not all of them, I've rated in some way, either on YouTube or on Music Board or on AOTY. And this list is not sort of recognising their scores. It's more so based on how much I've come to love the album, how it's grown on me, how it stood against time. And it's just my personal taste, basically, like what albums I've really loved. I'm sure there'll probably be albums that you might think I've missed or, you know, orders that I think I've got wrong. But, you know, that is the way with music. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. This is just my opinion. And be sure to let me know in the comments what some of your favourites are of the year. So we're going to start with some honourable mentions. We've got Porridge Radio, Water Slide Diving Board, Ladder to the Sky. This is a great angsty album. Some of my favourite tracks are Birthday Party and Jealousy, as well as Back to the Radio. Just good for getting in your feels, you know. Preacher's Daughter, Ethel Kane. Yeah, this is one that slowly like enveloped me in its atmosphere and in its story. I have to say, Ptolemaea is like one of the songs of the year. The atmosphere of that song is insane. Prison Jar by Scotch. This is just absolutely mental and I love it for that solely. However, I don't listen to it all that often. It's quite a journey. It needs a lot of preparation, I guess, to sort of go into. So for that reason, it's not making my list, but it's still really good, just crazy shit. And lastly, The Overload by Yard Act. It was specifically on my second listen where it kind of clicked and I went, some of these tunes are really catchy. There's also some great lyrics in that album as well, specifically in 100% Endurance, which I have to say on my first listen did make me cry. Okay, and now we're going to get into the top 10. So at number 10, we have got Supernova by the Nova Twins. This is their follow-up to their debut, Who Are the Girls? They really just stuck to their formula of aggressive and fuzzy tracks to hammer home their lyrics, which I understand are a bit of a turn-off for some people. People found them a bit cringy, I guess, in a way, but it doesn't bother me that much. I have a lot of fun with these tracks here. They're all really bass-driven. There are some exploratory elements in this album as well, which I do appreciate. And all around, I think it's really good fun. It's about half an hour long and it's good shit. At number 9, we've got Hostile Architecture by Ashenspire. I honestly thought I was going to have to explain the shit out of this one and be like, yeah, it's this metal band that do like capitalist lyrics. But thankfully, Mr. Anthony Fantano gave this a glowing review, so people actually listen to this. So many of these tracks give me goosebumps, specifically Plattenbau, Persephone Praxis, as well as The Law of Asbestos. That's a banging tune. Some brilliant lyrics in there. Heavy, dramatic, orchestral, melodic effort. There's so much power goes into it. Just really strong. At number 8, we've got Wet Leg with their self-titled debut. This album, man, is so much fun. These guys have got such zest, such humour. They're very playful in their tracks, which I love. They're not reinventing the wheel, no, but you don't need to with this kind of music. It always just works. And this album is such a joy to put on. And Chaise Long actually ended up being my most played song on Spotify this year. I mean, it's fucking catchy as hell, man. I know some people find it annoying, but I love it. Up at 7, we've got I Love You, Jennifer B by Jockstrap. This was a big anticipated release for me, and I'm glad to say they kind of knocked it out of the park. I think they've made a really strong debut. There's so many brilliant tracks here. You've got Neon, which is our opener. You've got Greatest Hits, which is just groovy as hell, man. I mean, you can't not dance to that when you listen. You've got Deborah, which is one of the biggest serves of this year. And Concrete Over Water is just straight up phenomenal. And then following at number 6, we've got another Georgia Ellery involving project, Ants From Up There by Black Country New Road. The instrumentation is fabulous. I love the gentle build in tracks like Bread Song and Concord and Snow Globes. Then you've just got whammies of tracks like The Place Where He Inserted the Blade and Basketball Shoes, which are unreal. I really did sit through most of this year thinking that this was going to be like at least in the top 3 at the end of the year, but other albums have come out and I just find myself listening to them more. And also, I don't mean to compare the albums because comparison is the thief of joy, But when I want to listen to Black Country New Road, I honestly tend to put on For the First Time. I just prefer that album. But still, Ants from Up There is a phenomenal experience. The last 3 tracks alone are incredible. Like, one of the most cathartic endings to an album. Maybe the most cathartic of this year. At number 5, we've got Blue Rev by Always. I hadn't heard of Always before this album came out, but I saw it was getting really highly reviewed. So I listened to it and I absolutely see why. It's just such a fun and breezy listen. Like, I can put it on with no hesitation because there's no tracks that I like genuinely don't like here. It can be really delicate and lovely in tracks like the opener, Pharmacist, Lottery Noises, Tile by Tile, and then you've got really zesty and fun tracks like Very Online Guy and Pomeranian Spinster. It's just so full of colour and joy, and I leave the album with a huge smile on my face. At number 4, we have got Anywhere But Here by Sorry. Angsty as hell. There's something about these guys' delivery and the way they execute their tracks that just seeps into my soul. Songs like I Missed a Fool and Screaming in the Rain, which are very emotional and sad. They aren't delivered in this like fancy and flashy way. They're just so abrupt with it, and I love it. I love these guys for that. It goes on a great sort of downward spiral, I guess. It starts off kind of joyous with Let the Lights On, very energetic and happy, and then you get to Again and you're like just in the pits of depression. But I love albums that have a journey like that. I love to just sink into it and feel it, and yeah, this was that album for me. Right, so we're getting into the top 3. So, at number 3, we've got Guitar Music by Courting. I believe this was an album that Spotify just recommended to me, and I clicked on it because I thought the cover looked cool, and also it was a short album, and it's so good. There's a number of styles that these guys tap into here. They've got fuzzy, aggressive, abrasive tracks in the form of the opener, Cosplay, Twin Cities, as well as Crass, which is one of my favourite tracks on the album. But then there's also plenty of really bright and happy tracks with really kind of joyous progressions, such as Famous and Loaded. These guys just know how to put up a great like wall of sound and make it really fun, and I keep saying fun in this, oh my god. In case you haven't realised, all I want from music is just to have fun, and guitar music is like the embodiment of that. There's a lot going on. Yeah, there's glitchiness, anger. It's, yeah, just a fabulous album all round. It's a debut as well, so I'm very excited to hear what else these guys have to offer. At number 2, we've got Diaspora Problems by Soul Glow. I listened to this very recently, I believe at the start of the month, because this came as number 1 on a list of top punk albums of the year. And I told myself, I'm just going to listen to whatever is at number 1. And I'm so happy I did, because my god, this hasn't come off since I listened to it. It's bloody relentless. The guitar lines are so just heavy and fulfilling. Pierce Jordan's vocals, they're so full of vocal fry, I think it is. There's so many bangers here as well. You've got like the Who Gon Beat My Ass, you've got Jump or Get Jumped, you've got Driponomics, and John Jay as well is brilliant. Honestly, from the start of this to the end, it's just consistently headbang worthy. Good shit. And at the almighty spot of number 1, my most favourite album of 2022 is none other than Hellfire by Black Midi. I mean, what else was it going to be? I gave this a perfect rating when I reacted to it. And although I did worry for a bit that I was being quite hasty, because I was very excited to listen to this album, as time has gone on, I'm still excited by this album. I think it's got some of Cameron and Geordie's best vocal performances. Just each track has their own separate identity and they can stand on their own. And yet when they do come together in this album, it's an incredible experience. It's so rewarding, and every single second does not go wasted on me here. So dramatic, so detailed, so much is always going on, and it's it's so close to my heart. I love this album. I genuinely would put this on if I was having a bad day and it would put a smile on my face. It's one of those, I still stand by my perfect rating, my favourite album of the year. I need to bring Bob Ross back, okay? Right. So But yeah, there we go. It's the end of 2022. I do want to take a second and say that I am incredibly grateful to all of you that have subscribed. I only started this, well, posting on this channel this year, and it's been a lot of fun. I honestly want to keep on doing it. I want to turn this into a job if I can. That's like the dream. That's all I want to do. I just want to talk about music for the rest of my life, if I'm being honest right now. I hope you guys have a wonderful day today, whatever you are doing, if you celebrate Christmas or not. Either way, happy holidays. Have a wonderful new year as we go into that. Let's bring on 2023 for some more good music. This year's been brilliant with it. Good shit. All right. See you all soon. Much love. Oh my God. I can take that shit off. Oh my days. Wait, let me just do a quick. The colours are wrong, but ignore that.